for 3 days or 3 times in a week with something that made you sick and almost died. Oh gosh, when I think about Kwajalein, had the worst time of my life. Worse than a life raft, really.
Prisoners taken to Kwajalein were executed, but both Louie and his crewmen were spared. And after 40 days of torment, they were taken to Japan, where for the next 2 years, Louie was a prisoner of war.
I took punishment almost every day, and it wasn't the pain. I can handle pain. It was the humiliation. Here this guy's stripping me of my dignity.
After years of beatings and torment, Louie and the other POWs finally heard those words they longed to hear. The war is over.
I'll tell you one thing, when I got down to Yokohama, I got off the train, and I looked up and saw the American flag flying. The colors never looked so sharp. And our guys greeted us, the military. There's nothing greater in the world than freedom. I mean, I realized that the minute the war was over. I realized it even more so when I met our troops at Yokohama.
After the war, Louie came to forgive his captors and was able to turn his experiences into a positive future. He now tours the world sharing his story to younger generations, hoping to inspire.
The doctor said, there's no doubt about it, the war's taken about 10 years off of your life. So I decided there and then to get those 10 years back. And so I've been working on it ever since.
If you'd like to learn any more about Louie Farini's amazing life, you could always pick up his book, Devil at My Heels. Cindy, back to you.
Thanks, Michelle. I'm here with Cindy Makashansby, the director of the Western Museum of Flights. Thanks for joining us today, Cindy.
Hey, thanks for interviewing me.
How was the turnout today?
I'm really pleased. It's early and it's a good turnout.
What would you say is the must-see attraction of this event?
The Fairey Firefly is a very rare airplane, as well as the ME-109. Both of those aircraft are here.
What would you want people to take away from this event?
Just that they had a good understanding of, I guess it brings a sense of awareness, especially to children that don't have an opportunity to see these warbirds that are kept. Some of these airplanes come from Northern California, Arizona, so it's a rare occurrence, and get them familiar with education and for them to understand that how these aircraft were used in World War II.
Well, I thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us, Cindy. Let's go down to Michelle in the field.
Thanks, Cindy. This magnificent structure I'm in right now is a C46 Commando, and we're about to get some more information about it right now. What can you tell me about this?
This is the largest twin-engine airplane built in World War II.
Wow, and so what was the main purpose of this plane?
This airplane was a cargo airplane or a drop paratroopers.
Wow, and how many people did it hold?
It could hold about 50 people that would be full combat.
Great, and this is full working order and
Oh,
everything?
absolutely. We fly this airplane every week.
And how did you get this restored?
We restored it back in about '83 is when we got it, and we put engines on it, and it came to the Confederate Air Force in Camarillo, which would be the Southern California wing.
Mm-hmm. Well, it is a beautiful airplane. Great job. Thank you so much.
Oh, bless your heart. Thank you.
Cindy, back to you.
Thanks, Michelle. Coming here today is almost like taking a history lesson on the wars this country has endured in the past century. We talked to some of the younger generations at today's fair to get their thoughts.
Kids got the ultimate history lesson today on all things aviation.
Today the coolest thing was the helicopter, because it's really cool how the helicopter was like a backup to get the injured soldiers and bring them back to the headquarters.
For many kids, this was their first chance to get inside an airplane.
I've never been in here before, in a plane, so I get to see what it looks like.
Many parents view the airfair as a fun way to teach their children about current events.
Trying to teach them about the military, the situation that we're in now. So this helps a lot.
It's good to teach the kids. Every time you go, they learn a little bit more, and it's fascinating.
Parents also saw the event as an opportunity for quality family time.
We do it every year, so I come down, walk around, take pictures, see old friends down here, and just basically have a family day.
Just seeing the families coming out, the young kids and the dads who are my age, that we weren't involved in World War II, that I guess their dads, when they came to the air show, explained to them this plane when I was in the Army or when I was in the air. It's just to listen to the generations of stories.
It was easy for the children to pick out their favorite thing at the show.
I see the airplane. The coolest thing I seen was the cars over here, and I want to look more at the jets and stuff.
When I got on the airplane, because I never seen the inside of an airplane, and I was hoping I could see it when I came here, and I had a really fun time.
Some kids are even contemplating future career goals.
You think you could fly this thing?
I don't know.
The fair has such historic value and family time opportunities that parents and children hope it will be back again next year.
Well, all this learning can make you pretty hungry. Luckily, there's a spot to grab a bite to eat and quench your thirst. Let's go down to Michelle in the snack and vending area.
Mouths were watering down at this end of the fair. Local nonprofit organizations were serving up tasty dishes that hit the spot among fairgoers.
Serving spicy chili, Whitey's famous chili, and everybody loving it.
In addition to the Rotary's spicy chili, the Lions Club was also there quenching people's thirst. The community's nonprofits felt it was important to be there.
And it benefits all children of the world. One community, one child at a time in the city of Hawthorne.
Just a stone's throw from the enticing aromas, people could shop till they drop among the souvenirs and trinkets.
We deal in patches, insignia, all kinds of aviation memorabilia, different periods of time.
Well, I sure have gotten my fill of tasty treats over here at the vendors area. Cindy, let's go back to you.
Thanks, Michelle. Well, I'm standing in front of some pretty cool looking motorcycles. Most of them are custom built and painted.
This is the first time the airfair includes a motorcycle show, and folks are happy with the new attraction.
I've always been into motorcycles, World War II aircraft, and I go to all the motorcycle shows I can.
And there's plenty to see. There's old bikes, new bikes, open riders, sport bikes, even a secret weapon.
It's pretty good. The guy that made it must have a really good imagination. It looks like one of the motorcycles you see in one of those action fiction movies.
I had 5 days to come up with an idea. What I did, went out of the shop and made this out of my Boss Oz. And it became such a big hit that we've been to probably a dozen car shows since then. And it's like anywhere it goes, it draws crowds.
For some, it was easy to pick out a favorite bike.
So why do you like this bike?
I don't know, because it has that cool thing right there.
Every bike is my favorite bike. Every one is unique, so every one that I build is not exactly the same.
Cortez redesigned this blazing gun bike with a skull kind of theme.
We got a skull with the top hat and the whole thing. And if you look on the back, he's holding a shotgun, and out of the shotgun 2 barrels, we put the 2 running lights on there.
This vintage bike is Joshua Stronks' favorite.
This bike is totally old school. It has a suicide shift, the short springer, good twist back and turns, and just totally rigid, just totally old school, hardcore bike.
And we painted it. The owner wanted a P-40 fighter plane theme, so we did the camouflage paint. We did the teeth on there, and then we put the flat, clear finish over it to give it the weathered look, like an airplane.
Paint job's pretty cool. It goes with the bike theme of this event, and it's nice.
Some admirers could look at these bikes all day.
Okay, come on. Let's get off. Let's check in with Michelle now and see what other fun things she's found.
Thanks, Cindy. We're over here on the other side of the field with Sky Raider Bob. Hi, Sky Raider Bob. How did you get that name?
I'm not sure, but to my grandkids, I'm Bubba, and because there's so many Bobs around, and I'm the only Bob with a Sky Raider like this, so now I became Sky Raider Bob, and so how everybody knows me in the Warbird community is Sky Raider Bob.
So now, is this a plane that you flew back in the war?
Yeah, yes. Actually, I checked out in this airplane in 1958 in San Diego while I was waiting Crusader training, and then I only flew it for a month. And when I retired from American Airlines, I decided I'd like to have a Warbird, so I decided that I'd look for one of these and found this one at the Santa Monica Museum.
Great. Well, it's a beautiful plane. It's absolutely gorgeous plane.
Yes.
Well, Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, and back to you, Cindy.
I'm here with Donovan Fell of Moto Art. How are you?
I'm doing fine, Cindy. How are you?
I'm good. Tell me a little bit about your company.
Well, Moto Art started about 4 years ago. Dave Hall and myself are the owners of the company, and we make furniture and art pieces out of vintage aircraft.
Very cool. What about this piece behind you?
This is a DC-9 rear stabilizer. It's now a desk. We can also make it with glass, so you could use it as a dining room table, and it wouldn't be so difficult to clean up after meals.
Other unique pieces include a Boeing wheel table and a burner can table that lights up from a J-79 jet engine. For Feld, the antique aircraft is too precious to be merely recycled, but he won't use anything airworthy.
These guys were real heroes, and so were the planes they flew, and they become condensed into, just squares of aluminum and then melted down to become beer cans or soda cans, and it's just a shame. So I try to preserve a little bit of the history, and plus they're just great shapes. They look cool.
And this passion to save such rare pieces of history carries Fell all over the country to find these prized parts.
Now let's check in with Michelle and see what she's up to.
The day is winding down, and one by one you can start to see the planes taking off into the sunset. All in all, today's airfair has been a great success, and the visitors can attest to that.
Hawthorne Airfair is obviously a lot of fun. It's something they do every year, and I hope it continues. It's a great airport, and it's a fun community, and you can see everybody's out with their families and walking around, so it's just a fun event.
I am so elated to be here. This is the best airfair ever, the biggest crowds, the most airplanes. We got motorcycles here, you got families here. This puts Hawthorne on the map in the best light possible, and I'm just so happy.
Well, that seems to sum up the feelings here at the airfair. So whether you are a seasoned war veteran or simply an aviation enthusiast, the Hawthorne Airfair brought back old memories and created new ones.
Thank you so much for joining us today.